Hello y'all, this is Ocho here to talk to you about simple intervals. So this is like the baby step that you need to know before you start learning about what I call specific intervals, which has both a letter and a number, like major, perfect fourth, major third, perfect fourth, tritone, augmented, diminished, all that jazz. So this is the very baby step that you need. It's pretty simple, but I'd rather have you take little baby steps first before we get into the big stuff. Okay, so simple intervals is just the number. And it doesn't matter, you don't need a clef, you don't need a treble clef, bass clef, tenor clef, alto clef, you don't need any clef to be able to do this correctly. So when we do this, it's really important that you think of intervals like the levels or floors in a building, and not like you're taking steps. Does that make sense? You have to think of level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, etc. So right here on the staff, I'm going to show you ascending intervals and then descending intervals. So this one right here, do you see how this note right here is on the bottom line and it stays the same? So you would just call that a 1, or you can call it a prime or a unison. I don't care which one you use. Like I'll give you the correct answer for each of them. But so there is the number 1 because it stays on the same line or space. You need to count it 1, 1, so it doesn't move. This next one, you have to start the first note, just like the first floor in a building. You have to count that as 1. Then you go up to the next space in this case, so that is 2. So this is a second interval. This one right here, you start on floor 1, 2, and then 3. So that is a third. Right here, starts on 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember to go line, space, or space, line, depending on what you're starting on. So this one right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, would be a 4. This next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this note would be a 5. This one over here, you want me to guess what it is? I'm doing it chronological. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is a 6. And then these last two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a 7. And then the last one going up, you still count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is an 8 or an octave. Yes? Okay. So are you noticing? Look at how all the numbers that are odds real quick. Do you see a similarity between the starting note and the ending note? Oops, wrong one. So odd intervals, do you notice how the odd ones are always on the same line or space that the note started on? Like, so if this one starts on a line, if it's an odd number, the note will be drawn on a line as well. Line, line. And if it's even, if the starting note that you're counting is on a line, it'll end on the opposite. So in this case, it's a space. Does that make sense? So right here, I'm going to do it the fast way. These are intervals going down now. This is still a unison or a prime. This one right here, since it's not on, the starting pitch right here is on a space. So this one's not on a space. So you know it has to be an even number. You count 1, 2. Boop. This one right here, it's on a space just like the first one. So we know it has to be an odd number. And in this case, it is a 3. 1, 2, 3. Next one right here, it's on the opposite of the starting pitch. So it has to be it has to be an even number. So right here, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And then goes all the way through. It's chronological. We see how it's starts on a space, ends on a space. It has to be an odd number. Boop. And then here, 6, boop, 7, boop, 8. Does that make sense? Yes? No? You're like, yes, no, Ocho. So I'm going to do a couple examples. Let me erase this real quick. Yay for pausing and rewinding, so I don't have to like say, Ocho, stop. Okay, so right here, I want you to draw a 7th going down from this pitch right here. So pause the video for a second and get that done. To draw a little treble clef and see what you have. Okay, so right here, you unpaused, okay? So you gotta count. We know a 7 is an odd number, so it has to be on the line just like this starting note is. So you count 1, 3, 5, 7. Boop. So that is a 7th that is down. Yes? Next one, let's do a 4th up from this note right here. A 4th up. Pause it and give that a shot. And you're back. So going to 4th, it starts on a space, so you know it has to be on a line because the 4s, the evens, are the opposite. So we count up. 1. Oh, was that right? No, you have to start right here with the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is a 4th going up. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, come in during async time and I can help you out. You have to be able to get this because eventually I'm going to throw some like crazy things at you. And the number always has to be correct. Some of you will start using your piano and you'll be like, but Ocho, it sounds like a 3rd, but it's written as a 4th. That's the reason why I'm doing this. It doesn't make sense to you right now, but number is always the same. Don't change it. 7th, 4th. Yes. Happy learning. Hope that makes sense. It's a pretty simple concept, but you have to master this one before we move on to the next point when we go with specific intervals. Happy day.